Encanto. Mystery in the Rainforest. The Madrigals were a family like any other. Well, almost. They had magical gifts, and they lived in a wondrous place called an Encanto, which included a village and their magical house, Casita. Pepa Madrigal had the gift of controlling the weather with her emotions, and today the weather around her was unpredictable. Pepa's daughter Dolores, who had the gift of hearing everything, had just gotten engaged. Every time Pepa thought about the wedding reception, her mood switched instantly from happy to worried. Mi amor, I know you're nervous about our daughter's big day, said her husband Felix, but everything will be perfect. You'll see. That's the problem, complained Pepa. I wish I could see it, but I can't predict the future. That gave their son Camilo an idea. Well, Tío Bruno can, said Camilo, who had the power to shapeshift. He snapped his fingers and changed his youthful face and red curly hair to look just like his uncle's. Bruno reluctantly agreed to help Pepa peek into the future of her family's anticipated event. Everyone gathered around him, but Bruno's vision didn't show a big party or the design of Dolores' wedding dress. The vision showed the Encanto, looking gloomy and sad, with fallen trees, withered leaves, and parched soil. Abuela Alma, the matriarch of the Madrigal family, was worried. She asked Bruno if he knew what was happening. Bruno responded with one last detail, a beautiful Flor de Mayo orchid. Abuela decided that they should go to the village. Maybe someone there knew what was happening. In town, they met with a few worried families. Señora Osma hadn't been able to prepare her famous empanadas because there wasn't enough corn for the dough, and the Flores family's avocado tree had been without fruit for weeks. Then, when Mirabel, Abuela's youngest granddaughter, and Antonio, Dolores' little brother, went to buy a green mango with lime and salt at the corner stall, they were told that there were no mangoes or limes. Camilo and his friend were also disappointed when they couldn't get a refreshing coconut smoothie. What do you mean there are no plantains? Julieta, Mirabel's mama, asked Don Osvaldo Orozco Ortiz at the produce market. Back at Casita, Julieta continued complaining to Isabela, her eldest daughter and Mirabel's older sister, who was desperately trying to replace the withered flowers on all the balconies. The Madrigals called a family meeting to talk about the mysterious problem. We must find a solution soon, said Abuela Alma. Luisa, Mirabel's other older sister, suggested planting new trees and growing fresh produce. But Isabela told her she had already tried that in town. The plants, old or new, are barely surviving, she added. They needed to find the cause. I haven't heard the waterfalls in a few days, said Dolores, with her ear pointing toward the mountains. Antonio watched his family desperately thinking about how to help their beloved Encanto, when suddenly his friend Pico, a toucan, clattered in his ear. Antonio knew that the time had come to show them the power of his magical gift. I know what to do, Antonio said with excitement. I need to go to the rainforest. ¿Qué? Going to the rainforest alone? Asked Abuela. Papito, I know you're very brave, but that's a big responsibility for a young man like you, she added. Everyone started talking about the baby of the family wanting to solve this huge mystery on his own, until they heard a big roar. Mirabel broke the awkward silence. Are we forgetting Antonio's magical gift? He obviously won't do this alone. He has his animals, she said. Go, son. Make your family proud, Felix said, feeling hopeful, and everyone else agreed. Pico led the way into the rainforest, while Antonio and the others followed. Along the way, they saw lots of other animals, such as a squirrel and a macaw, who decided to join them. It wasn't long before they arrived at the edge of a dry river. The waterfall that fed into it was almost dry as well. Only a thin stream of water trickled down the wall of rocks onto the dry dirt. Chispi, a chigüiro, caught Antonio's attention and gestured to a beautiful orchid that grew on a tree branch by the waterfall. A hummingbird buzzed near Antonio and said, "It's a flor de mayo, and it's still growing. There must be a reason." Antonio turned to Pico, the macaw, and the hummingbird. "Can you fly up there and look around? Then come and tell me what you see." At the top of the rocks, the hummingbird got close to the flower, drawn by its scent. The three birds were admiring the orchid's beauty when they finally saw it. A large and heavy ceiba tree was blocking the river. The three birds immediately flew back down to tell Antonio. Without wasting a second, Antonio used his magical gift to call more animals. Together, they came up with a plan to move the giant tree and unblock the waterfall. They worked as a team. The tree moved, and the water began to flow. "We did it!" said Antonio as he laughed and hugged his animal friends. He looked gratefully at the orchid because thanks to it, they were able to discover exactly where the problem was. Antonio and his animals returned to Casita. They shared the good news with the family and the entire community. "Great job, Antonio!" everyone cheered. "Now let's have a wedding," said Pepa. "We are so proud of you," Mirabel said. "You helped your community with your magical gift, also with courage and love, the gifts we all have within."